Well, what y'all see? No potatoes. And let me tell you why. Good morning, y'all. It's Lippy. You notice there's no potatoes. Let me tell you why. Saturday night, we had a storm that was coming in. Well, it did come in. Lord, and the wind, it blew limbs everywhere. But I had already let these drop. Now, y'all remember, I planted these on March the 31st. I was 8 weeks late. But I was like, for $4, I don't fail by trying. But they started laying over, and I said, okay, I'm going to let them go 2-3 weeks, let them cure. But I knew that this amount of rain that we were going to get would just rotten them, okay? So I said, buddy, let's get them pulled first. So Saturday, we pulled them. Y'all, I got 3 potatoes out of the Yukon Gold Bed. They was about the size of a gumball in a gumball machine. So, advice to Lippy and y'all. Just 'cause they was $1 a bag, you 8 weeks late, don't give it a shot if you in the deep south. It ain't gonna work. So, that was $4 I lost. So we did that Saturday. Then Sunday morning, the garden update video, we come out, we started picking limbs up. And then we knew that the 2 blackberries we had, 4 blueberries, a couple of elderberries, they had to get in the ground. Well, we started doing that. And we had turned the chickens loose to play in the run that they have that we've not finished yet. We haven't even started on the coop, and we got to do that. Well, come late Sunday evening, I was like, I'm too tired. I was exhausted, so y'all didn't get a garden update. Well, yesterday, Monday, I had enough. I told y'all I was vacating them. Well, I vacated them to the garage. They are perfectly fine. But I completely emptied the entire pantry. That's where all of my canned goods and buckets and all that, y'all have seen it. Completely moved it out as if I was moving out, and piece by piece was washed and brought back in. So you didn't get a garden update yesterday. So today we're going to do a quick garden update, and to make up for my lapse, we're going to go ahead and do some dill relish and squash relish. Y'all, the squash is coming in, and I'm on 3 gallons now put up. Now I'm going to make squash relish. So this is going to be like a 3-part garden update, dill relish video, and a squash video. Let's just spend the morning together because I got to get it done. About 1 o'clock, we got rain coming in. They're talking not severe storms, but very strong thunderstorms. They're talking 3 to 4 inches of flash flood rains. So I got to get in, start getting all this done because we lose power. But I do have an outdoor cooker. This is all water bath, so I'm not concerned about that. I can go put it on the cooker. So we're going to start at the front, walk to the back. Really nothing much has changed. Oh, something will be changing, but I'm going to tell y'all about it when I get to those plants. And most of you that's followed me, y'all know what I'm talking about. Those curly cute tomatoes, them Italian ones that I cannot pronounce. Y'all, I'm struggling. These are heirloom, and I've said it 100 times to Sunday. Where I live, heirlooms just don't work. I am all about the hybrid seed. I have been for 5 or 6 years because I'm trying to get a harvest. I cannot just babysit and pray that I'm going to get something. On a hybrid, I'm about 90% of a heavy harvest. Dealing with these heirlooms in our conditions, it drops to about 50%, but you've got to work hard to get that. So I'm probably taking these Italian tomatoes out. I will replace them with some other tomatoes, even if they're store-bought. We're just at the end of May, so we're fine. But in the same beds, remember I had to compact because it's all the soil we had. I put some of my hybrid tomatoes, I think it was Homestead and Celebrity. They don't have a problem. But these Italians, I don't think we're the right climate. I mean, it's horrible what's happening to the tomatoes. And like I said, it's not anything, it's not anything with the nutrients or what I'm doing, because it's in the same beds as other things that's doing fine. I really think it's the climate. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start at the entrance. Y'all, I've got bees. I harvested 6 cucumbers this morning, so I'll be able to make that relish. Now let's go in. I love to hear and see these bees. Now we're just gonna turn here. And these are Hall's tool. I think these are Homesteads. See? Homestead tomatoes. Just, let's see, loaded. They just need to turn. But remember the curlicues I was telling you about. I want you to see how enormous these are. And I've already took the tops out, guys. So we know these are heirloom. But this is what's happening. See that? Every one of them. Now, I would think there would be a problem. It's not. Not as far as the bed. Because if you look in here, this is a homestead. 2 or 3 of them loaded. If you look down here, that's a celebrity. Remember, I had to put them all together. Now here is those Italians, the little curlicues. And they'll get just like that. And when they start getting a little bit larger, that's when that that's when that rot starts. So, it's nothing with the beds. It's definitely, they don't like the Louisiana heat. Okay. We're gonna come on down. This was that other Italian. Remember, I had 2 different, these are paste tomatoes. Look at this. Same thing. And it's only those 2 varieties that is doing this, okay? The only 2. And then if you come to this one, that is a burpee. I can't think of the name. I don't know where the cord is. Probably on the other side. No problems. Let me grab my coffee. Oh, there's a little pepper right there. I harvested quite a few peppers today. But everything is doing great. The tomato I got from Mr. Eddie, it's a Bandia tomato. It's doing amazing. So I have some tomatoes to replace those with. There's the bell peppers. It's so humid. You can tell the storm's coming. Another bell pepper. This one I'm probably going to take in with me. It's huge. And then here's that other Bandia. I don't even know. I need to ask Mr. Eddie, is this a hybrid? Is this air? I've never heard of that tomato. More peppers. Like I said, I harvested this morning. I should have did this before I harvested. You can see them all coming on. It's been very cloudy too, and that's it. Let me show y'all. I'm gonna back up. Since Saturday, it's been very cloudy, overcast. Look at these. Everything is standing. Y'all, it can be 80 degrees and the sun out and they melt. And the sun gets off of these by 1 o'clock in the day. The sun is it's just horrific. Okay, squash and zucchini. Nothing, nothing's changed. The zinnias. I've been using a lot of parsley. I got a little bit of yellow in right here, but that's where I've been cutting. I'm probably gonna take quite a bit of it. I can actually cut this down to about 4 inches above ground. It'll come back up because I need to get some dried, but I use it every day. I'm waiting for the grandkids' cherry tomatoes to come. Look at that. And then here is Mo's tomato plant. I'm thinking it's a paste, y'all. Look, it's got a teardrop. Usually a paste tomato will have a teardrop. And I just noticed something. Okay, now you see, same bed, no problems. I bet you that's one of these Italians. And let me tell you why. Look, see? Cannot make sense of this tomato to save my life. There's the oregano, rosemary, purslane. I went in and as you can see, I took hunks of the lemon balm out. I've got it soaking. Making some chapstick, guys. The zinnias, some I need to dehead again. It is loaded in peppers, but I want them to get a little bit bigger. That's just one plant, okay? Loaded. Look at this one. Pretty loaded. But look at the height. And squash, I'll harvest some more probably next couple of days. Strawberries, doing great. We haven't had time to get these beds lifted up, but I want y'all to see something. Look. Hey, I'll take that. Look at this one. Look at this one. I'll take that too. So I'm very pleased with the strawberries. There's the cantaloupe. Doing amazing. Loquat's doing good, but look. See why I don't like to cut into this? So I'm gonna have to pull that weed. Watermelon, doing great. Let's see. We still have a lot of beds to put dirt in. And as you can see, I've been stealing some from here. But remember, half of this bed has leaves and sticks and things. We will definitely have to bring another load for these boxes to really pack down come this fall and next year. But hey, we're gonna do with what we got, right? And we have temporary soaker hoses. We haven't installed them, but it'll work for now. We got blooms on the eggplants. We got those from Mr. Eddie. They're doing great. Some more cantaloupe. That one's running. But you see what I mean by the beds are sinking? That's what they're supposed to do. Now these here are just butterfly bushes I put here to keep alive. That's not where they're going to be housed. So that's what we said in the beginning. The way we did these beds, we knew that they would sink. And once they started sinking, we could pack them down and know exactly how much dirt to add to them. And these are my banana trees that the grandkids' daddy gifted me. So what do? You put them in your garden bed until you find the right house for them. And then here's some more peppers. These are called long red, or let's see, what are they? Long red slicers. That's from Mr. Eddie. Look. They're doing good. And here is a big boy tomato. Here is the Abe Lincolns. Remember the Abe Lincolns that got demolished? Oh my gosh, what, 3 weeks ago? And I was like, there ain't even a limb left. I want y'all to look. It has not affected. Look at this one here. I want y'all to see up in here. Look at that. I don't know if I can, let's see. Here we go. Loaded and loaded. So it looks like we're gonna have us some Abe Lincolns. So there was the quick garden tour. Really nothing's changed, but I definitely wanted to show y'all about those tomatoes. I did write it down. Ananola. Y'all know I can't pronounce this thing. Paste. Go back to the videos. I call them the curly cues, because remember the leaves start curly and then they straighten out. I need dill. Let me cut some of my dill and I'll meet y'all in the kitchen. Hey, I'm in the kitchen. To save time on the video, I did go ahead and cut my vegetables. But the ingredients is going to be in the description, but I'm going to turn the camera around before I set this into the refrigerator. We're going to do the dill relish. A lot of you been asking about my dill relish. Well, that's what we're going to work on. Then I'm going to come back and chop my squash, and we're going to make a squash relish. So let's look at the dill first. Okay, in this bowl is 6 cups of finely diced. I use the Ninja. I'm making a relish. This is a dill relish. So there's 6 cups of cucumbers, and I used about 4 medium sweet onions. You're going to need about 2 cups, and you need 1/4 cup of the canning pickling salt. I added 1/4 cup, and I put ice on it. It's already starting to break down to liquid. This is going to sit in the fridge 4 hours. So that's 6 cups of cucumbers, 2 cups of sweet onions, and 1/4 cup of pickling salt. And you can double this. Here's the squash, y'all. Now, you can cube this very small. I wanted to make it like a relish. That's the way we prefer it with our peas in the winter. But to this bowl, now this recipe can be cut in half. But here I've got 8 cups of squash, 4 cups of yellow squash, 4 cups of zucchini. Or you can use all yellow squash. I've never tried it using just zucchini, but I do like to split mine. So that's a total of 8 cups of your choice of a summer squash. There is 8 cups of sweet onion, 8 cups of mixed diced bell peppers, red, yellow, orange, green. I have it a mixture. I like the colors, so I always mix mine. But that's a total of 8 cups. So you see, it's equal parts. 8 cups squash, 8 cups onions, 8 cups bell peppers. You can cut this in half. Now, it's optional, but I do add 5 jalapeños with seeds, and I add 5 banana peppers. You can omit the peppers, or you can de-seed the jalapeños. And I added 2 cups of pickling salt. This again had ice on it. It's to sit in the fridge 4 hours. But I won't confuse you. We'll do one batch at a time because they both pickle totally different. We have 6 cups of distilled vinegar, 2 cups of water, 2 cups of sugar, 1/2 cup of fresh dill, a heaping tablespoon of dried dill. I have about 15 garlic cloves. Now, this is where you can put as much in the jars or as less in the jars that you want. We have 2 teaspoons of mustard seed going in and a teaspoon of black pepper. Now that's all you're going to need, but like I said, I'll have it in the description. Now we're going to make our dill brine. 6 cups of white distilled vinegar, 2 cups of water, 2 cups of sugar. This is pure cane sugar. 1/2 cup of dill, a heaping tablespoon of dill seed. We got 2 teaspoons of mustard seed. Okay, hopefully you can hear me over the vent-a-hood. Maybe you can see it just wants to come to the boil state. We're going to turn it down to medium, and we're going to let this simmer. You still want to keep a little bit of bubbles going. That's called a low simmer. 10 minutes. Now we're going to go rinse the cucumbers while this is simmering for 10 minutes. Okay, I've got it in a colander, and I'm going to stir, and I'm going to rinse 2 or 3 times to make sure you've got all of that salt out of your relish mixture. Taste it after the second rinse. Just take a little bite. If you taste salt, you need to rinse again. And that's all I'm going to do is keep rinsing and stirring, and then we'll start mashing all the liquid out after we get all this salt out. Okay, I've got it sitting over the bowl that it was in. I rinsed the bowl out because it had salt on it. And I've got it in a colander with very fine holes. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this stainless steel spoon and I go around and I mash every bit of that liquid. This is the most time consuming of it all. You don't want any liquid if you can help it. I want to show you how much liquid came out of the dill relish. 3 cups. Exactly. See, and if we don't want that water in our relish, it'll get real watery. I have mashed it till I can't mash anymore. Now we're fixing to add it to the brine. Remember, the brine's been simmering for 10 minutes. We're almost ready to ladle up. Isn't that gorgeous? Now we're gonna let this simmer in this brine for 5 minutes and then we'll remove it from the heat. Okay, while our brine is simmering for 5 minutes with the relish, this is what I do with my jars. I get me a pot of boiling water, I add clean jars to it, and as I use those, as I pull one out, I'll add another jar in. Remember, we need hot jars. We have our garlic, our black pepper. I use a chopstick for debubbling. This is a bar mat. I have a lot of people that ask me. I would say the measurement is like a placemat to a table. I can measure it if y'all need me to, but it's just a bar mat. But here's what I wanted to show you guys. Make sure you're using 5% distilled white vinegar. There's a lot of 4% vinegar out there. You cannot pickle and properly preserve without using 5% acidity. Okay, starting with a hot jar, what I like to do is scoop it out, let as much of the liquid drain off. Now, I'm not sure how much this will make. It varies now with this recipe. It depends on really how much moisture is in those cucumbers. We'll go with a little bit more. I'm only going to do a jar and you see how I do it. That's plenty. Then I'm going to come in with a ladle. And I know you're asking, where's the garlic? Where's the black pepper? It's coming. Perfect. Okay. What I do is I set this aside. And then I will know how many jars I have to how many pieces of garlic I add. So I'm going to add a pinch of black pepper. Okay? And then what I like to do is come in and just stir that around. I will debubble again once I get these jars filled and know how many garlic cloves I'm going to add. Now, you could chop your garlic and add to this, but I find that using the garlic cloves, it works so much better. All right, that's one down. Let's see how many we get. Y'all, I did not realize that I was talking to a dead phone. So, luckily I got enough power to turn the phone back on to show you. They've not gone into the hot water bath. I did add 3 pieces of garlic. Remember, the garlic is optional. But I did add 3 pieces to each half pint. I ended up with 7 half pints. Clean the jar top with just vinegar and a rag. Put the lid on. I'm using gold flats and gold rings. I'm water bathing. If I was pressure canning, you couldn't pay me to use a gold lid. That's just, you know, that's my preference. So, as soon as I get them in this water bath canner, once it comes to a rolling boil, I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. Don't start counting until you see that canner come to a rolling boil. Put the lid on it. 10 minutes, turn the fire off. It's just that simple. All right, I got to get these in the canner and get this phone charging. We still got squash to do. Okay, we're coming up to a boil. Once it boils completely, start your timer 10 minutes and then turn your fire off. Okay, y'all, this is the brine for our squash relish. And remember, I told you it's a little bit different. We won't be adding the squash and vegetables to the brine. We're going to pack the jars, but I'll show you. But right now, all I'm doing is heating up the brine. And in this pot, I've got 6 cups of 5% distilled white vinegar, 3 cups of water, 5 cups of sugar, a heaping tablespoon of pickling spice, and we will be adding pickle crisp granules to our jars. But like I said, the ingredients will be in the description. So all I'm doing is I'm getting my brine up to a simmer. I'm going to let it simmer for 10 minutes. But we're not adding vegetables to this. Now I've got to go wash my squash and vegetables, get all the salt off. And remember, taste test and you'll know if the salt has been removed. And we will mash it just like we just did the dill. Or just like I did the sweet relish a few days ago. Here's a sneak peek at our dill relish. It turned out perfect, y'all. Pretty good. We got hot jars. The brine's over here. Got a pot over here holding my jars in hot water. I did have to rinse 3 times on my squash relish. Okay? We just want to get that packed in the jar. And this is something you're really going to have to debubble, which I'll debubble again. I'm just showing you how I do 1 jar. I'm going to use 1/8 of a teaspoon of pickling crisp. That's 1/8 of a teaspoon. It does make a difference, guys. Oops. And then I'm going to come in with my brine. We're going to leave about a 1/2 inch of headspace. We'll debubble it down. Make sure we get enough brine. Perfect. All right. Let's see how many jars we get. I saved the last jar. I've already got the others in the canner. I'm going to debubble. Then I'm going to come in with some vinegar. And I'm going to thoroughly clean because this is, you know, sticky. It's got quite a bit of sugar in the preserve. So I want to clean this rim really well. Now I did finish up with a pint. Instead of pulling out some more 1/2 pints, I do have 1 pint in there, but it still processes the same amount of time. All right, we're going to set this in the canner. Just like before, these jars are hot. When it comes to the boil, that's when you start your 10-minute timer. All right, let's see how our squash turns out. Here is the squash relish. Look at that. It's gorgeous, y'all. Now we got to cover them. Put them night-night. There you have it, y'all. Garden update, dill pickle relish, and squash relish. Whew. Now I got to edit all this and hopefully get it posted really soon. So it's going to be a 30-minute video, so watch a little bit now, watch a little bit later. But I wanted y'all to spend the day with me. I've been missing y'all. Did you hear that? It said pop. I love the sound of pop. But as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. Now it's time to eat pork chops and rice and some squash. It's squash season, isn't it?